can't actually find it on on my computer, this chat, but 17 of you are in there, and I can't find the whole thing on this evening. Oh, there we are. It's Thursday night. Oh, that's still from my birthday last week. You can kind of come down there, really, can't it? Yeah, we kind of left it up there for a while. Let me just see if I can work this out. Videos, what's that mean? Oh, there we are. We're going live. We're on. We're on. I can see everything now. And I think everyone's... We're on. We're on. Turn that off. Yeah, well, that's good. Now I can see you. Unfortunately for you, you can see me. Will you get a cameo from Yvette? Not unless she walks through that door. She's actually upstairs at this present moment. Because she's had a busy old day, as our Yvette. So how are we all? I know my chats usually are at 9 o'clock, well, they have been in the past, but I just kind of thought I'd get in there a bit earlier today. I don't even know if it's actually slightly before 8 anyway. I was going to start at 8. I've missed you all too as well. But anyway, we're here. Well, that's the main thing. How have you all been? How have you all been? I haven't got this set up quite right. I kind of need to move that there, I think. Now I've got this pressed up against a candle, and it's been falling off. Me trying to get it going. Hello, how are you today? Since I last saw, oh, how are you today? Hello, Carla, and how are you today? Since I last saw Most Haunted series on TV, not quite sure. Hello from Denmark. Denmark's in South Wales as well. Hi, Molly, Amanda. Wow, Raymond. Good to hear you're fine. Missed you too, Sue. Missed you too. Laura's on fine form. I've been looking at all your stuff on Instagram with you, jumping in the air, and you got more energy than I have, love. I was about to say, jumping in the air with your legs wide open, but you've got to see her Instagram page to understand what I'm saying. Hi from Brick House. Ooh. All right, what's this? This is Claire. How are you, darling? Had a gallbladder operation last week. Ooh, cool. That must have been very painful. Been resting with Most Haunted. Well, I hope we haven't scared the gallbladders out of you. Or maybe if we had scared the gallbladders out of you, you wouldn't have had to have had the operation. Anyway. Rural Devon. I can't move to Cornwall last week, Kaylee. Oh, did you? Yeah, do you know what, Kaylee? We have been trying to buy a place in Cornwall, as lots of people know. We had one place we almost bought, a nice little sort of thatched cottagey thing overlooking the sea, and unfortunately I mean, anyone who kind of knows me now, I don't really suffer falls that well, and people trying to take the piss, it doesn't work well. And the people that were selling it, when we first got there, they said, oh no, the thatch is fine, it's got another 7 years, and so the estate agent said. And when we got there and we looked round there, we had a master thatcher look at it, and he said, oh no, the ridge is gone, it needs replacing, which is fine, you know, it happens. So we just said to them, you know, are they prepared to meet some of the costs? And they basically said no, and then they started adding things. So it was we agreed a price on the property, and then it was they wanted us to, because they ran a holiday company. So and then they said they wanted us to sign up to their holiday company for a year to rent our house out specifically to them for a whole year as part of the deal. So yeah, the two words I used ended in off. So that was that one, which was sad because they were just being very greedy and very silly. And the estate agents were absolutely appalling. I mean, we've dealt with some brilliant estate agents, but some of them have been diabolical. And I can't wait till we find our house, because we're going to name and shame every single one of them. Well, no, we're not. It's not my thing. But anyway. And then we found another one in a place called Foy. The last one was a place called Coverack, I should say. And we've just had a survey done on one. We put an offering on Foy, near the estuary, and unfortunately we had the bad news today that it's covered in rising damp. So we're back to square one, back to looking, and that was that. So, you know, we'll get there eventually. Happy birthday, Carl. I'm having a drink on your birthday. Much love from Gloucestershire. That's a mystical exploration. Well, thank you very much. I had an absolutely fantastic time. My birthday was... obviously, a lot of people were sort of kind of talking about it being, another one in lockdown. I mean, every single one of us have had our birthdays in lockdown. And you know, it'd been nice to have been able to go, because quite often I've been doing a most haunted event on my birthday, and I've been with all my closest friends and all that, but we've not been able to do that. So I kind of but I had just such a lovely day. I mean, I got prezzies and stuff, and I had all you guys out there. I was overwhelmed by your kindness, because it really is. It was fantastic. It really was humbling as well, because I can't remember when I've received so many lovely messages wishing me a happy birthday. So I had fantastic. I was with my beautiful wife and my lovely daughter. Obviously, my son is living in America now, so that was a FaceTime. But the rest of it was, was a great day, really lovely. And so thank you all for that, and to everyone else watching, who watches the show and has had a birthday in lockdown, and it's just what we have to do, and it's all getting better. How am I doing? Very well, thanks. I'm very happy. Couldn't be happier. What's the I know it's a kind of a topic now, but has anyone had the jabs? Have you had the AstraZeneca one? Has anyone had any problems? I have to say I've not. I kind of not having a jab. Oh wow, okay. I had the first one. Yeah, I've had my first one. Yeah, I had the. Oh, you had the Astra one, and you're 27, so you're in that sort of bit where they were offering. No, I had the AstraZeneca. I opted for that one because it's British. And fortunately, I've had no ill effects, so I'm fine. And obviously, as you can clearly see, I'm in my 20s too. Yeah, all right. Both. You've had both. I've only had my first one. That's Jade's had both, or 33. Well, that's good that you've had them both. All right. We have a different jab here in New Zealand, but only border workers so far. Oh right, okay, that's interesting. I mean, I think it's right to get. Obviously, everyone needs to be immunised against this awful disease, and obviously those who've got issues with it and don't believe it, that's down to them. But I think for the rest of us, that I think it's the right. Samuel Williams, was the cottage trouble? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was a tiny little thatched cottage. No, what do you guys think of it? What do you think of where's Watson? Watson's actually just here. He's right there, asleep. And Olive's just there. She don't think Olive's got long left. I don't want to tell her that. Here we go. This is Jen. Had the AstraZeneca. Had flu symptoms for 2 days and a bad arm for 3 weeks, and had a lump and it itched. Oh right, okay. I see. I've just been very lucky. I mean, I've kind of always been lucky because I'm not really allergic to anything, and apart from mother-in-law. So I've kind of been lucky. I've always had a kind of a strong constitution as far as all things are concerned, really. And I'm not really an ill person, so I've been very, very lucky. But you know, it is what it is. I know a lot of people are worried about it as well, and I kind of think whether you believe in it or not, isn't it about other people being comfortable with you being around? You know, I kind of. Oh, somebody actually said that about the. There was a cartoon going around with it. It was somebody saying, a kid saying to a mum, "What's that in the arm?" And it's the polio jab, or it was no, what was it? It was the I don't know. It was some jab that we all had as kids, and the kid says, "Well, why haven't I got one?" And she said, "Because it worked." And I don't know. Maybe it's right for us to have it. And it's for everyone else. It's not for us. And I kind of think one of the things for me is I said, actually, for Diana, the media are making a big deal of, this is Diane Bowell, the media are making such a big deal, there's more chance of being struck by lightning than getting a blood clot from it. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. You know, it wouldn't certainly, smallpox, that was it. Well done. Thank you, Rebecca. Smallpox. And I kind of, yeah, that was it, the BCG, because it and the TB, yeah, and TB, yeah, and they worked. Anyway, I would have it done every day of the week. Well, obviously not every day of the week, but I'm all for it. And I think there isn't any medication that we have that hasn't got some sort of side effect. Even if it's the headache tablet, it's got side effects. You just read them, and it would stop you from having any. But yeah. So right. Former Pfizer VP, massive depopulation after boost jab rolled out. That's from Tracy Beckett. I mean, I don't want it to become a sort of political thing. I just wonder what people were thinking, because the whole thing about this is, and it's easy for everyone to blame the government and say they're not doing the job properly. But you know, everyone else can sit there on the sofas in hindsight and say we should have done this. It's the first time this has happened in any of our living memories, and no one knew what to do. And I think that maybe doing other things may cost more lives. Who knows? We don't know. But we are where we are. And I think, you know, we need to... It's one thing that this has taught me. Is people have been so bloody selfish. And they really have. I mean, you know, I am definitely for freedom of speech, and I'm for freedom of expression. But to have demonstrations while there's a pandemic going on, it's just bloody ridiculous. And I think that it's irresponsible. Everyone who's involved, I just think it's irresponsible. Anyway, that's just my thing. All right, looking forward to reading Yvette's new books. Now, this is all good. Yvette's new book's coming out in October. Now we've got, what we did was Yvette's done a reading of from her book. I know if you saw the stuff we put on the Facebook page, we are going to put on this on our YouTube page. We are going to put a full reading down, and afterwards we go on an investigation in this location where we did the reading, and it's because it has a World War II connection, and Yvette's book has a World War II connection to it as well. So it's and it's great, you know. I mean, she's just a creative genius anyway. But to see that when it first came out without any, you know, bells or whistles or any huge PR campaign, it became a bestseller, and that's just immense. So I'm excited for it to come out, because it is a good book. I've read it, and I've also read the next book, which is coming out next year, and the next book is another step up from this one. So they're remarkable books. anyway, enjoy them when you're doing it. Right, so right, who's James? Have I ever thought of writing a book? Yes, I have actually. I'm in the middle of one book, which is about hauntings at the moment. I was going to write a book about my career in television because that was quite. You know, I was very fortunate, as most of you know, to meet and lots of people, lots of different famous people who were lovely, and some who were absolute complete arseholes. And I kind of thought it'd be funny to write a tongue-in-cheek book about the whole thing. But you know, it's difficult for me because I'm not the type to. I don't want to put shadows over anyone's career, so I'd probably have to use different names for things. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Please, oh, this is from Claire, who's had a gallbladder mashed about. Please give a shout out to our amazing husband Patrick. I just want to thank him for looking after me. Well done, Patrick, for looking after your missus, as you should. Where's the doodad? There. Oh, there you go. As you should. That's my finger. Well, what else could it be? Yeah, well done. There's lots of people. Lovely shows, keep them coming. Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah, you'll be getting on the 15th or 17th. I can't remember. The ones coming. The Yvette's book and investigations coming out on the YouTube channel, and then very shortly after that, we've got a couple of extras, and we've got a full Most Haunted show coming after that, because we've been able to do some shooting. It's been because if a few of the guys have had both of their jabs. Everyone's had their first jab, but we had a 48-hour test, and then on the day we had another test to the 20-minute test, and everyone was fine. And so we managed to do a couple of, and you'll love them, because one, we had this location, a fantastic location, all to ourselves for the first time ever. This location had no one else in it, and asked us if we would like to go. So that'll be coming. So you've got some new Most Haunted stuff. Christine, my uncle died of COVID last year. Joe, Christine, I'm so sorry about that, and I am for anyone who's lost anyone through this awful illness, this disease. And it's people like you, Christine, that I feel the sorriest for when you get people saying this thing doesn't exist. It's just it's a government conspiracy or whatever, because people have died from it, and I think it's so disrespectful to those people. But you know, God bless you, Christine, and your whole family, because we are going to get through this disease, but we can only get through it together. You know, and I do think everyone should be vaccinated. Will you come back to Scotland when you can? Oh, Mary, definitely. Yeah, Scotland for me is a second home. I absolutely love it. Will you bring back? Will you bring back having psychics joining the team? Nope. Enough said. The reason I kind of is because we tried the psychic thing, and you know, with the exception of really one. I used to see them cheating. I used to see them. They would. You go on face value. Sometimes you're psychic. It's not up to me to say they are or they're not. Never said anything to me or anyone else that was any good. One did say some stuff to Yvette, which really shook us all, and was brilliant. But the others, you know, we generally fired a lot of them. There was only one we fired halfway through a series. The rest we allowed to finish, because we're trying to be nice to them. We let them finish that series. We just didn't have them in as much, and then we would move on to try and find another one. But to be honest, yeah, they were all saying, "Oh, we don't know where we are," and you think you do know where you are. You know, you've got the internet, you've got your phones, you've got, and they're always walking off on their own to either have 10 minutes peace and quiet, and you'd always see them on their phone. So I personally believe they were cheating, and I got proof. I would never put that proof. Well, no, I wouldn't say never, but I wouldn't. Certainly at this point, I'm not aiming to put any of that out, because again, it's not down to me to ruin people's careers. But we had cameras everywhere, and we caught a lot of people doing stuff. Unless, of course, it was Reg Corker. If I could get Reg on, I think you'd all appreciate, all want Reg to be on board. Yeah. I'm not going to go into specific people, because, as I say, if I start talking about specifics, it would, I would be talking specifically about those who I caught cheating, and there were lots, and you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. And as I say, that a lot of it is on tape, because a lot of, when people are frauds, they're not really that intelligent. Would I return to 30 East Drive for 100,000 subscribers? I'd turn to East Drive for a packet of crisps. Yeah, why not? Providing that we could prove that no one was hiding anywhere making noises. So I wouldn't want to talk about people individually. And the thing is, it's funny because a few guys are saying about bad luck with them, and what it does is it does it knocks your faith in people, because there are some great psychics out there who aren't. A lot of them would have actually stepped over their burning mother, even if they had a fire extinguisher on them, to get a gig, and there are so many people out there, good psychics, who really are just good at what they do and want to help people. And unfortunately, when you dangle the people who are running out for television and running out for they're the ones that are quite difficult, and there's no proof that they can do it. I mean, let's face it, a lot of these psychics. I mean, one of the things to think about is, a lot of these psychics used to when we used to talk to them on set, they'd always pretend, outside they would always be friendly with other psychics, but they used to hate each other. I mean, they literally used to hate each other. And I can tell you that there was one show that they did on Living where they had some psychics together, and one in particular we were talking to couldn't stand the others. They were all bickering about each other who can go on first. And of course, it's easy if you go on first. You've got a whole broad. Is there a J, a J, a J, a J, a Jew, a G, a G, a G, a J, a Jew, a J? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it with 300 people in an audience, and get it right? But that cuts it down for the others when they come on. But what gets me is all these psychics who say they've got psychic friends. When a psychic dies, none of their friends ever told them. They all had evenings booked, and if anyone was psychic and went, no, you need to be careful, don't book anything after March, then that would be impressive, wouldn't it? But all these friends who are psychics of psychics not saying anything, and then they're dying, they've still got all their calendars booked up. You kind of go, and to be fair, they've been. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about psychics because people know me. I put out a £250,000 bounty in 2005. 2005 for any psychic to say one thing about my life that isn't on the internet, and they can do it where they want, in front of whoever they want, at any time they choose. It's not like the Randy challenge where it has to be in a lab. Mine's very broad, and it's £250,000 they can have, and I've still got that money. It's never been taken. So that kind of needs to show you everything you need to know, really. I'm not going to keep going on about them because Gemma Jane did have a lovely. I did, yes. I mentioned earlier, had an absolutely fantastic birthday. I really did enjoy it. God, if Most Haunted was a horror movie, who would be the first to be killed? Who would survive? Well, Yvette would survive, definitely. I think probably Darren, because he's so scared he's going to run into something, isn't he? He's the type that sort of runs around the corner from something and ends up running into a pitchfork. A paranormal pitchfork. Hey, paranormal pitchfork. Chuck that to really, they'll probably commission it. Say you're from the US though. You think Stuart's the first one to go? Would he? Stuart's the first one to go. Wow. Well, Melissa, loved Most Haunted from the beginning. My dad introduced me to the paranormal use, and I loved it ever since. Definitely a believer. Oh, that's good. You know what? I always think it's harder to be a believer than it is a non-believer, because if somebody said you believe in ghosts and you say no, there's no other question to answer. When you say yes, you have to. Everyone starts attacking you. No, prove it to me. Oh, fuck off. Prove it to yourself. If you want it proven, go and find one on your own. I remember being interviewed at some point, and someone said to me, "Have you? Why haven't I ever seen a ghost?" And I said, "Well, have you ever looked for one?" And they said, "No." Point. If they can't correlate the two, bless them. Carl, aren't I afraid of taking spirits home with you? That's from Stephen. Do you know, Stephen? No, I'm not. I don't believe that ghosts follow you home. And the reason being, Watson is snoring. If you're here and he's snoring, it's Watson. Of course, he's not snoring now, but there he is. I don't believe you can ghosts follow you home, because you've got to think of firstly, if a ghost follow you home, nowhere will be haunted because they'll all buggered off with somebody else. And two, why would they pick? If a place is 200, 300, 400, 500 years old, there must be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people walking through it. Why would they pick one of us today to come home with? Why wouldn't they have done that in the past with somebody else? Just a thought. Not saying I'm right. Just a thought. It's just a thought. I grew up in pubs and clubs, seen a lot of things. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. Yeah, I can imagine a lot of pubs and clubs, because there's a lot of emotion. There's happiness, sadness, there's laughter, there's tears in any kind of pub, club, and all of that. And I think that emotion stays. Natasha, hi Carl. Have missed your Thursday night video. I'm sending all my love to a big clap to all the hard workers during the lockdown. You deserve all the rest and alcohol. Yeah, do you know what? I mean, in my earlier, last year, my earlier chats, we said a lot of thanks to all of the NHS and everyone, and and that obviously still stands to anyone who's working, and but it's also people who working in petrol stations, working right the way through the night with very little thanks, so we can keep driving our cars, and all those people in supermarkets. I mean, I have to admit, there was one, extremely rude lady. Where was she? I think it was in Sainsbury's. Oh God, she was just rude as anything. And it was, but she was actually serving, she was on the checkout, but it was almost like she just needed a little tash and her hair combed at the side and she'd have been fine. And there's no need for that, because we're all in the same experience, and it's not right. Right, sorry, this is Phil and Trace. Well, Carl, please can I have a shout out? I'm recovering from pacemaker surgery I had 2 weeks ago, and it's my birthday and it was my birthday 2 days ago. Love you guys, Trace and Phil in Norfolk. Wow, a pacemaker surgery, crying out loud. That's 2 weeks ago. God, I hope you're okay. That must have been so nerve-wracking. I mean, a filling came out a couple of weeks ago, and I'm scared crapless of going and having it sorted. To have a pacemaker done, wow! And happy birthday to you for Trace for 2 days ago. Happy birthday. You're an Aries as well. It's the best star sign, if I knew anything about star signs. But yeah, God, lots of love to you both. Lots of love to you both. I know Phil's looking after you. I'm sure he is, obviously. How's the summer house going? Well, we've been painting it today, which is good. I hate painting, so Yvette's kind of helped paint, and I have to say there's more everywhere else, but actually where I needed it to be. But she looked really cute doing it, so more power to her. Love what you, yeah. Do you know what the one thing? Oh, what's this? Oh my God, you should see some of the customers that come to IKEA rude to the most extreme. Yeah, do you know what, Carol? I mean, I understand how some shop staff must be just at the end of their tethers with this rudeness of people, because people are bloody rude at times, and you know, they just need a good slap upside of the head sometimes in a reality check. And I don't think there's anything for anyone to be rude, but generally in life anyway. But you know, we're all going through crap. People have, and you don't know what the person you're talking to has gone through. They may have just lost someone. They may just be depressed. They may be anxious. They may be, yeah, they may have gone broke. They may have whatever. You know, they may be going through a relationship breakup. And a bit of kindness and understanding goes an awful long way, and I don't see why we can't do that. And Laura's asking if I've been outside any more garden antics. Well, yeah, there has been a bit. I filled up a skip. It was one of those things that I got a skip because obviously we're finishing off the whatever, summer house, whatever it's called, which is actually Yvette's writing room. Decided to get skipped because I took the old roof off because it was an old stable, and I've re-roofed it with some other stuff, and I got a skip in to put all the old roofing stuff in and all the old bits of wood. And I am not kidding you. I think it took Yvette about 2 days, to fill it up. Roofing stuff is still not in there. It's full. How? I mean, full of a lot of my stuff probably. But anyway, it's full. How did that happen? Sorry, Cobbett, is Greg married? He's not married. He's living with he's living with his girlfriend. He has a beautiful daughter. But no, he's not married. Why? You thinking of trying it on? Where's Yvette? She's upstairs. You see, we don't really lead a rock and roll lifestyle. She went upstairs to bed about 8 o'clock. Just before 8. Not really up to, she was doing stuff upstairs anyway, but she'll be in bed now. But we do go to bed quite early. Beverly, oh bless you. Bless you, gorgeous. Now, look, I've kept this because I'm in that point again where I'm not sure whether I grow it or get rid of it. We finally got married in 16 days. Whoa, let me get that. Where's that one? Where's that one? No, where's that one? I have to do it on this because I can't find it. We finally get married in 16 days. See, I said to my almost husband, Simon, well done, dude. 16 days. How long have you guys been together? I'm not kidding. If someone had told me that marriage was a good thing before I met Yvette, I'd have absolutely said no. I was a confirmed bachelor. And do you know what? I was never going to get married. Didn't want kids. Didn't want to. I was selfish fucker. I was having a great time. I was running around the world doing camera work, doing all these great things, and loving it. And all it was one dinner with Yvette. I was screwed. And I have to say, best thing I ever did. I'm not saying Yvette was the best thing I ever did. I'm saying going out with her was the best thing I ever did. And the fact that she said she'd marry me was huge. And we've been together now for what? this year's 22 years. So, in fact, next month it's 22 years. And it's been the best 22 years of my entire life. And it gets better every single day. And I absolutely mean that. So when you get married, good luck. And just if you both put each other first, you'll have a great, very happy life together. Did I finish the dovecot? Yeah, the dovecot's finished. I did post a picture sometime of it, I think, of it up. I may not. And then again, I may have done. Ah, Ruth and Maxine are watching. Ruth and Maxine are my two very, very dear friends, and they're lovely. And they've just texted me at this particular point when I'm in there. Louise, my daughter Megan has worked in care home all through the pandemic. Wow, and got COVID. She was really poorly and couldn't do anything to help her. Hearing her cry on the phone was horrid. Do you know what, Louise? Can you please, from the whole Most Haunted crew, but also at this point, everyone here on this chat, just give her our best, because do you know, care workers get some of the least I won't say respect, but they get the least of all of the care community, really, and without them it all falls apart. It really does all fall apart. The work that Megan does is so crucial to everyone's happiness, not just the people they're looking after, but everyone around them, and their family, their friends, and everything else. So please, is she better now? Can you just let us know, Louise, if she's better now? It must have been horrible for you to hear your daughter crying on the phone, knowing there's nothing you can do. It kind of really does get me a bit. Because I'm very much, obviously we all have our daughters and our kids and our sons, but to hear them crying and not being able to help must have been an absolute torture. So anyway, please pass on the best to her, please. Yeah, that's just right. I'm just going to go through some of these. I do tarot cards. What do you think? I think tarot cards are great. I really do. The thing is, I know I've not got. People think I've got a problem with mediums and psychics. I haven't. I've got a problem with fake mediums and fake psychics. I think anything. My mind is open to absolutely everything, and I love tarot cards. I mean, I've been read tarot cards on a few occasions, and they've been fun. Yeah, they have been fun. I was trying to find a post. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, but I can't find it now. I love your channel. I've been watching for years. Oh, bless you. Thanks, Jack. And that's the thing. Cause if you guys, because there's probably some psychics. I know we've got a lot of psychics on our page, and I talk to some psychics fairly regularly, and I feel for them. I feel for the real, true psychics who just want to do their job, who just want to spread their gift. I've just seen a thing coming up from a blast from the past, which is a very, very dear, wonderful friend of mine. I'll get to that in a second. But and it must be hard for them because they have a gift that's been given to them. They didn't choose to have it; they give it, and it's those people that use that gift in the right way. And I wish they could get more exposure, because they do. And Kathy Carr come to North Carolina. Now, for those of you who don't know, I used to live in North Carolina, and Kathy was one of my closest friends there. We went through a lot of fun when we were out there, lots of ups and downs, as I recall. And she was such a great mate. She really was. And she's gone through a lot herself, but she supported me an awful great deal. So it's lovely to see you on here, Kathy. It really is. It really is. I'd love to. Yeah, do you know what? Sod it. When this is all finished, either give me a call or I'll give you a call, and I'll come over to North Carolina. I always meant to buy that house that I used to live in, which was a stupid shack that we used to live in. not me and Kathy, but me and another guy. Not in that way. We used to room together in this little dusty old shack, which was a real shithole. But it was a lot of fun, and I keep meaning to go back and I'd like to buy it really, which would be fun because it would be quite. I had a lot of great memories from North Carolina. So it's good to hear from you, Kathy. Yeah, the geese are getting excited, James. Again, for those of you who don't know, we got lots of geese. Watson, I think Watson's about 7 now. 7, I think. 6 or 7, 7, maybe 8. No, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! I don't know. It was Howard Place. Oh, was it long gone? And it was a real shithole. Yeah, it was Howard Place, 909 Howard Place. In High Point. If anyone wants to Google that, you'll see what a shithole it was. But it's gone. Oh, that's a shame. That is a real shame, Kathy. But yeah, it would be good for us to go and have a cup of coffee or something stronger, and have a wander around there and just watch it. I know, Kathy. So am I. Yeah. I can't remember what I was saying now. Oh yes, geese. We've got loads of geese and ducks and all of that kind of malarkey, and it's shagging time at the moment. So all they're doing is, oh, hang on, I better put my doodah in. Hold on. Where's that? Hang on. Oh no, it comes out of there, doesn't it? Sorry, I'm just losing my. I'm losing my pay. Captain, I've not got the power. Now I'm in, so hopefully. Yeah, we are all locked in. That's good. Power to the phone is there. What was I saying? Yeah, they're shagging each other now constantly. And the problem is we've got a gang of like 4 of them. The trouble is 2 of them are the parents for the other 2. And they all keep shagging each other. I mean, and I have to say, it's just silly because you've got sons shagging their mum. I know there are some places in Europe where that's allowed. I'm joking. Well, actually, Europe. I didn't say a country, so whatever. Yeah, but they're constantly making a noise. And we've also got ducks. Now, we haven't named them. And the reason we haven't named them, I think, because we've got foxes and all of that, and although a lot of people don't like foxes, I happily love them. Don't kink shame geese. You know, you're right. I shouldn't. If they're happy shagging each other, then fine. But that's the one thing with them, because we live in the country and we've got lots of foxes and stuff, and I don't believe in killing anything. Yeah, so sometimes they get eaten, and that's why we don't really name them. We did name a couple. We had 2 geese called Ron and Reg, and they were hot. We got them from somebody else because they kept attacking the dogs, and their beaks had been bitten with the fights they had with the dogs. One was at the bottom of the beak gone, and the other one at the top of the beak gone, and I mean, they were hardcore. They really were. Unfortunately, apparently, we got out on the CCTV. A fox came up, 2 foxes came up, and they decided to have a punch up with 2 foxes and lost, which was a shame. So we lost them both. Hello from Brighton. How is Brighton? I haven't been to Brighton for years. Barry, what's my collection of cars? Well, actually, I'm thinning out my collection of cars, to be honest. I have. I used to have way too many because I got into this sort of situation where I never sold a car. I used to buy them and then have every intention of trading them in on it, but sometimes they're so for me they're works of art, so they're beautiful to look at. So I used to have a garage. I bought a garage 2 miles from my house, and so I'd put them on. In the garage and then get another one. So I ended up with way too many. and also with staff, you know, we had cars for some of our staff as well. So I think at one point there was 28 cars hanging around, which was way too many. And so I've started to get rid of some of my the exotic ones really, because I'm sitting there looking at them and they're fine, they're lovely, and yet when I want to drive one, I took one of them out and to recommission it, because it had been in a garage for well, just on a year, because I couldn't drive them all. It cost me just under 10 grand to recommission it with the clutches and stuff. So I just thought it's just silly. So they need to be driven because they're like thoroughbred racehorses. They need to be worked. So I've started to. I'm going to keep a few that I love, but the others I'm going to let go, because it's just silly, really, just hanging on to them for the sake of hanging on to them. When Stuart fell into that grave hole, I didn't see grave hole first. Yeah, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, especially because I didn't see it at the time. I only saw it in the edit because I didn't know where he had gone. This is Susie, hi from Isle of Wight, but originally from Guildford. Great, she's like, I'm from Guildford, Susie. Whereabouts from Guildford are you? Because I come from, oh yeah, the 8-foot spider. That was in America, wasn't it? Yeah, new podcasts are coming for Ireland. They are coming. Yeah, I come from Fairlands Estate, you know, in Guildford. So just outside of Guildford, actually. Western Australia. Wow. You see Mitchell and Priory. Oh, are we in Mitchell and Priory in May? I can't wait. I really can't wait to get back to Mitchell and Priory. Because, oh, do you remember when the knife hit you in the head? Yes, I do. That was Standon Hall. Standon Hall. Hello from Glasgow. How is lovely Scotland? Bring the beard back. Well, I'm kind of thinking of it. I'm kind of in that transition period when you guys back ghost hunting. Well, we've done a couple, and they're coming out on this channel in a bit, in a few weeks. Carl, please respond to Louise. I have responded to Louise. I have responded to Louise, unless there's another Louise that I haven't responded to, because they are going quite quick. Will you come back to Peterhead Prison? I hope to, Christine, because I'd love to do an episode from Peterhead. I think Peterhead is probably one of the scariest prisons I've ever been to, just because of its reputation. I mean, you know, Category A, it had the worst of the worst, and there aren't many prisons that can boast that. Lynn wants, I need to spend a night with you all. Yes, fine, pop round whenever you like. Hi from Portsmouth, lovely Portsmouth. I do love Portsmouth. Right, it's a shame. She said her daughter is. Oh, she said her daughter is doing well, but the chats are going up too fast. You can't see. No, I can't. So Louise, I'm so pleased she's doing well. Thanks for that, Laura. Appreciate that. Louise, I'm glad your daughter's doing a lot better. Like I say, please send her our best. Hi, originally from Devon. Sorry, hi from Devon. Originally from Aldershot down the road from Guildford. Yeah, do you know Aldershot? That's I used to be in Aldershot a lot. With the army barracks and all of that, especially when I was younger. In fact, I learnt to tap dance in Aldershot. There you go. Crumbs, you grew up in Onslow Village. My best mate at the time when I was at school, Pete, lived in Onslow Village, Curling Vale, right at the top. And we used to create havoc around there. And you should see the Guildford Cathedral from the Golden Angel. I have to admit that cathedral is one of the ugliest cathedrals I've ever seen in my entire life. But, you know, but yeah, we used to go nuts up and down his road in Curling. We used to do like hedge hopping as well. Give us a Temo tap dancing. Tap dance for you now. I'll go triple time step. Now, a lot of you won't remember a guy called Roy Castle. But Roy Castle was a TV presenter. Yes, it is in the Omen. It was, yeah. What was I talking about? I just saw that and gone completely off my train of thought. I'm sure someone will tell me. Oh, Roy Castle. Yeah, what has happened? When I was in, I was doing some camera work at ITV, and Roy Castle was there. very, very ill. I mean, he'd lost all his hair. He's going through his chemotherapy. And I'd only just watched a Peter Cushing film the night before, which was Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, which Roy Castle was in. And and as he walked past, he said hello, and I just said to him, look, I said, sorry to interrupt you. I said, but I was only watching you last night on television on Dr. Terror's House of Horror. And we had a little chat about it because, obviously being a huge Peter Cushing fan, to talk to someone who'd worked with Peter Cushing is a great thing. And I said, when I was younger, I said I wanted to be a tap dancer, and I said, you were an inspiration of mine. So we asked him to clear some tables. This was in the cafeteria, the cafe area at ITV. Not for the public, this was just outside the studio, backstage. And he just said, well, let's do a triple time step then. And he danced with me for 15 seconds or whatever it was, half a minute. But how great is that? He was very ill, and yet still a lovely, lovely man, and a huge, huge loss, huge loss. Did you ever been to Guildford Castle? Yes, I've been to Guildford Castle many times, many times. We need to come back to the UK ghost hunting. Canada is quite a road trip, but yeah, it is a bit. Wow, so I'm sorry if I'm missing anything, because they are going so far. Oh, here we go. Thank you. This is this is from Trace and Phil. And Bella. Sorry, I missed Bella out. Ooh, sorry. Thanks so much, Carl. Yes, I'm doing fine. It was a second pacemaker. The first. Oh, hang on. Who's that?
Hello.
Oh, daughter.
You're gonna see me peek out.
Well, the thing was we only think she's my daughter. I'm not 100% sure. Yvette says she is, but.
Well, is it okay if I just make a little bit of food? I'll be really quiet.
Yeah, all right. You be quiet. That'll be a first.
If not, then it's fine.
Oh no! So, do you know what? I've actually, because I've got this on my laptop as well, it's delayed. So I've just seen the door on that go, and I thought somebody else was coming in, and it's just you.
It is.
So it's my first one lasted 11 years. Oh crumbs! I'm still sore and bruised, but doing fine. I actually had a chat to you and Yvette at Christmas. Ah, right, yes. God, well, I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad you're doing better. I just can't imagine watching any good films lately. Do you know what? The problem is with me is I do want to go on HMS Victory because I have a family connection with Victory, HMS Victory. Films. I love the old ones. I do love the old ones, but there's so many crap old ones. I watched one the other day, which was obviously made off the back of Jaws, and it was about, if you get the chance to see it, just watch it. It was about an octopus called called Tentacles. Of course, Jaws for a shark, tentacles for an octopus. It's probably the worst film I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, there's money being made. It had Shelley Winters in it, for crying out loud, and she don't come cheap. But then I did watch. I've seen Peter Cushing's house. Yeah, I went to see Peter Cushing's house not long ago, actually. And unfortunately, Peter Cushing's house in Whitstable has been left to rack and ruin a little bit, and it's annoying because I know when it came up for sale, I couldn't buy it, and I was trying to buy it a few years ago, but I just didn't get anywhere. And it needs to be saved because it's such an iconic house. Anyway, but I watched a film recently. Again, I've watched it a few times in the past, but when you got a good movie, why did I carry on watching it? Once I start watching a movie, I have to watch it all the way through. I can't walk away. Did you ever meet Colin Fry? Yeah, I did, unfortunately. The whole thing with movies for me is they can either be really good but bad, or bad good, or they can be good. But if they're bad, like clearly someone just didn't give an arse, I find it more difficult. But sounds similar to Octoman. See, I've not seen Octoman, but now I'm going to have to watch. Yeah, Zombievers. See, the thing with Zombievers is it's a modern version of a crap film, and it was crap. and it was just stupid. And that's what made you watch a zombie, because it was stupid. But I watched one. If anyone gets the chance to watch it, two of my favourite sort of comedy movies is The Other Guys and Get Hard. Get Hard. We watched it on my birthday, the whole family, and well, Yvette and Mary, and we. It's the funniest. If you get the chance, Get Hard. It's got Will Ferrell in it, and it's about a guy who's going to go to prison, and he Imitation Game, Alan Turing. Yes, and do you know what? That is a brilliant movie. I watched that, and I think Alan Turing, again, he's someone that should be. I know. There's some stuff on him here up near Manchester, but that man, he saved the war for us. And our thanks to him was to give him so many drugs that it basically killed him. And I think that he should be lauded outside of Parliament. He should be there should be statues to him everywhere. It really should. Go back to. Do you know what? I know a few people said about East Drive. And the trouble with East Drive is that there's two. Since we've been there, we've gone on what we did the research to find out how many people had lived there before and what they had experienced, and there is one entity. Everyone there has only experienced one entity, and yet since we've been there, obviously every man and woman and his dog have been there, and you've got people coming up saying they are not. There's kids being murdered there. And it's just not. It's not in any of the history, and so. There's so many people saying this has happened. There's a ghost of this. There's a ghost of that. And I think that it's too much. It's been so oversold and commercialized, and just really greed. That's all it is. And it needs to be rested. I think they should. I think that they should. Its doors need to be closed for 6 months and then go back, and I think it's 7 foot fitment, exactly, Maxine. I just think they would get more stuff. They would get more real stuff, because I think everyone's in there seeing things that just aren't there. Do you think Colin Fry was a fraud? This is from Bob. Now, Bob, it's not what I think. It's not down to me to say that anyone was a fraud or not. You only have to go back when he used to be called Lincoln and was exposed in a newspaper. And anyone who doesn't know that, you can go back. It's on the internet, and it'll show you how at that particular point, from what was said, he did fraudulently try to dupe some people in a seance. And of course, the response to that when he was found out was not just to change his name, but to say the spirits made him do it. And anyway, as a lot of these people do, they come out the other end. But you only have to look it up. It's not just me saying it. I've read it on the internet, and I've also read the printed version of it. It's not down to me to say it was a fraud. I'm just I can recount his actions, and it's down to you to say if you think they're fraudulent or not. Howdy from California. 13-year paranormal investigation. Well, fantastic. I bet there's so many great stuff in LA, well, in the whole of America, but certainly California. Hello from Cornwall. Hello, Susie. When's the next episode's coming? Very soon, actually. Have you had a vaccine? Yeah, I've had the first. Would you do Alistair Crowley's cottage? Do you know, I didn't know Alistair had one in Cornwall. That's interesting. I'll have to have a look at that. I'd love to go down there. I've had my first one and wait for the second. But yeah, Alistair, a lot of people don't realise Alistair Crowley's great grandson was the President of the United States, and his great grandson was another President of the United States. Yeah, you see. Any advice for a new ghost hunter? Just enjoy it. And what I would do is try to be as open-minded as you can. And that's not to say that you're going to see a ghost in every shadow. It's just try to just be open-minded and open to the prospect of anything. Because once you close your mind up, I think you close your mind from seeing a lot of stuff and experience a lot of stuff. And I know there's lots of machinery out there, and some of them, you know, for me, I think the what am I trying to say, that for me the EVP is a great thing to use. The EMF is a great thing to use, but you have to remember, I mean, people ask us, why don't you use a lot of machinery? Well, we've tried it all. You've got to remember that we pioneered 99% of this stuff. And in the early days, we did try a lot of equipment, and it just didn't work. It was too open to wishful thinking, and that's one of the problems with it. There's not a piece of machinery. People say there's ghost hunting machines. There's no machine ever be made to find a ghost, because we've never caught one, we've never contained one, we don't know what they're made of. So how can you make a machine to find one if you don't know what they consist of? So use your stuff, use your yeah, and things like the obvious as well. Stuff that you cut, that leaves no question as to the fact that something is near it. The LSS is probably the worst ever machine, and I know some people like to thank you very much, Laura S. That was lovely. Hello from Northern Ireland. Oh, hello, Shauna. I know some people, you know, like to use the the SLS machine, but it's just too open. I mean, we did it before, and you can, depending on where you put it, you get false readings all over. Just shiny paintwork can return you a false reading. A shiny jacket can make it look like there's something just down standing next to you that's smaller than you. So yeah, there's lots of ways, and that's the one thing that I just, yeah, I can't. I'm not a fan of those. This is Quaker Kid. Actor and police don't actually scare the crap out of me. Best paranormal fetish job I've ever seen. It scared the crap out of us as well. It did, my friend. Somebody asked if I believe in reincarnation. Do you know what? I can't. How can I put this? I don't know. I mean, the trouble is, for me to understand reincarnation, you know, in my tiny brain, I'd have to. I'd have to. There has to be an infinite amount of people, or sorry, a finite amount of things, beings, because for one to die and to come back as something else, there can only be, yeah, for one to die and one to be born. If one takes the other's place, there can't be any more infinite beings, finite beings. So, and for that, I find it hard to comprehend. But that doesn't mean to say I'm right. None of us know. That's why all religion is called a faith, because you have to have faith that it's that you believe it. But yeah, Carl, it's coming up to my birthday, 1st of May. Ah, Sean, a happy birthday for the 1st of May. God, it goes so quickly. Happy belated birthday. Oh, thank you very much, Shauna. So yeah, that's a cheeky question, Ben. Who's your favourite medium? Reg Corker, always will be. Think he's great. Would you go anywhere in England? Yeah, I'd go anywhere. If it's haunted, I'd just love to be there, because I enjoy doing it so much, and we all do. See, now Laura Gamble's saying Reg Corker is shite. Now that's not very nice. It just isn't very nice. Greatest medium on the planet. Research is key. Yeah, that's a good thing. Research is key on when you're going on going to Southport Botanic Gardens on 20th of May. Is this place active from the moment you walk in? Well, if the stories are to be believed, Simon, yes, it's supposed to be a very active place. I'm going to spend some time there on my own over the next couple of weeks, just to see how active it is. I'm going to take a camera. I'm not doing it specifically for any other reason, just to experience it myself, because it is supposed to be very active. Is that noise my stomach? No, the noise is my dog, Watson. He snores like crazy. Our bedroom is just above here, and so it's quite often when he's going for it, you can actually hear it through the floor, and he can keep you awake. James knows what he's talking about. James, Reg is a funniest bugger, and he's. But do you know what? The thing about him is he's great and accurate. I mean, those of you who've had a reading from him must know. No? Okay. We're most wanted to do a tour of lesser known spots. Yeah, in the Highlands. They're haunted and cursed. I do like a cursed place, apart from the mother-in-law's house. It's a place of sadness, unhappiness, where no one smiles. Yeah, of course, I'd love to do. We really would love to do smaller places as well. You know, these. You know, when we brought sort of East Drive to everyone's, the forefront of the paranormal community, it was kind of. It was nice because it was a small house. Obviously, it's one of the things about doing it on Most Haunted. Every single person gets. When we do something, it all gets out there and everyone jumps on it. And the lesser known ones become greater known ones. I don't know if that's right, but anyway, you know what I mean. Who's the most famous ghost you think you may have been in contact with? Do you know what? That's Gemma. That's a good question. I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm not sort of. Hello, Gwen. How are you, my love? Have I seen the new? I've been watching the new series of Line of Duty. So who do you think H is? Do you know I've not seen it? I will. I'll have a look at that now. Yeah, but I don't know the most famous ghost we've seen really. I know there are people who say they've seen Elvis and they've seen. Crumbs, wouldn't it be great to see Elvis? I mean, I don't know why he'd come see me, but wow, wouldn't it be fantastic? Al Capone. See, now that's one. I mean, when you think Al Capone was one of the richest men in the world at the time. Yeah, he was doing his stuff. I mean, yeah, a tad brutal, but yeah, and died of syphilis. Brings all the big boys down, doesn't it? Syphilis. My hometown's lots of history. That's from Lisa. Oh, what's this? Hi, Carl. Is it possible for the old lives to be put on YouTube or? No, we don't own, Nathan. We don't own all those. They're all owned by Sky. All the old lives, and they've got their own agenda with all of that stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't. It would be John Lennon. Well, John Lennon. What, you can't really see it, can you? But we've actually that there. That's hanging on the wall. It's actually a picture of John Lennon. Oh, not a picture drawn by John Lennon. Yeah, because Yvette's a huge John Lennon fan. I'm obviously an Elvis fan, so what was it? Larry Grayson. Shut that door. Oh, look at the muck in here. How many of you know who Larry Grayson is? This will get an idea of the age of you guys on there. Oh wow, the British Jedi. My dad's an Elvis tribute. Oh, huge respect. Huge respect. Wow. Well, I'm lucky enough to own one of Elvis's rings. Quite often when I'm in there. Oh, there's loads of people remember who Larry Grayson is. And the generation goes, wow, that just kind of, yeah, brilliant. Frank Spencer, we know Frank Spencer, hugely talented man. Yeah, I've got one of Elvis's rings that we bought from the Elvis estate, and just yeah, I do. I ring it. I ring it. I wear it sometimes when I'm doing the edit. Not as old as you, Carl. Oh, all right, Karen, calm down. Wow. Oh, I'm 25 and I know him. Well, wow. That's from Shannon. Do you know what? That shows what a great human being he was. And I'm not being condescending, if someone as young as you in your 20s remembers who he was. Yeah, I remember my granddad telling me about him. What most haunted to bring? Will most haunted bring mediums? But no, not at all. We don't need to. You kind of what you got to remember is if you go back to those, you used to get this thing where, one of the psychics, whoever they was, would be so desperate for airtime. What they would do is they would make up any name, and so it gives you their the camera's always on them. And so if they come up and say, "Oh, I've got an Elizabeth in the corner," you start spending the rest of the night trying to find an Elizabeth, and when there probably isn't one. At least now we go in there and we follow. Don't worry, Linda, we won't be. We will follow him. We'll follow not what one person says. We'll follow what we're feeling, and that's why I think we're getting more stuff now, because we're not having to follow someone, or and it's not just one psychic. A lot of them did it. So we're getting more stuff, and we've kind of proved that you just don't need psychics for it. You don't need psychics for a paranormal investigation. We introduced them into this sort of and the television point of putting psychic in, so everyone started to use them. Then we stopped using them, so everyone else stopped using them as well. And they're on only a few shows now because they're sort of desperate for this spiritual thing, and unless one of them can actually prove they're real, it is what it is. But no, we won't be bringing them back because we get too much without them. Well, there's lots of people coming. Have you gone over to America to do any hunts? Yeah, we've done a series. We did an American series, and we did American live shows. And our American live shows was basically it was 7-hour live shows, which is absolutely fantastic, and it shows the brilliance of Yvette to be able to hold a show together for 7 hours constantly. I mean, and no other paranormal shows ever done the live shows we've done anyway. But no one's ever done a 7-hour live event such as we did, and we opened it up to the Travel Channel for them to be able to do more of their stuff, and they were brilliant. I mean, the first one we did was the Eastern State Penitentiary, which was fantastic. Which, funnily enough, we were talking about Al Capone. He was there for a short time, but then we did Gettysburg, and that was madness. We had people chasing us down the street for autographs. It was like being in a boy band. It was bizarre, and it happened at the Winchester House. We had people sort of trying to pull the fences down to get in to say hello, and it was great. It really was. It was brilliant. Scariest place you've ever gone to? Do you know what? Recently, I have to say it's got to be Gloucester Prison. I went to Gloucester a few times in the past, and it just gets scarier and scarier. And I think that this sort of this whole the more you go, I think the more stuff happens, and to be in a hospital wing and hearing somebody cough and no one's there, it's frightening. It's petrifying, and doors opening and slamming, and you can't find which doors opened and slammed. I mean, it's just. So I can't wait to get down to Gloucester. I mean, it's my favourite prison, and I'm going to spend as much time as I can there when the lockdown finishes, because I just think it's got some great stuff. This is from Kia. What's your opinion of the Cecil Hotel? The trouble is, I know there's been a documentary and stuff on it, and the problem with the Cecil Hotel is we researched that some time ago because of the poor girl that died there and the strange occurrences leading up to it. And the trouble is that it's not haunted. I know people want it to be, and there is not a credible sighting prior to people filming there. And I think they're just making it haunted for the sake of it being haunted, because it wants people to go. There's so many things being shoehorned into this hotel. That the serial killers were here, this, that, and the other, and they might have been there for a short time, but it's nothing to do with the hotel. It's the fact they needed a place to stay and it was cheap. And and some of those people are still alive, so it can't be haunted by them. Some didn't kill anyone there, so they didn't. It's just. I know there's a documentary about it on Netflix, but it's just not haunted. I mean, it's one of those things that, if you want to make it haunted, then by all means, go and do that type of show. But I just, it's a shame. It's a great hotel and they've got some great stories and very, very worthy of documentaries about who stayed there and about that poor girl. But as far as ghosts are concerned, it's just not haunted. And I'm surprised if anyone does. I'd be surprised if anyone who considers themselves to be taken seriously would go there. The House of Detention, fantastic. I'd love to go back there, but I'm not sure what's happening to it now. Because I keep hearing different stories about it. It's opening up or it's closed down or whatever. Where would my dream hunt be? It's from Shelley. Do you know what, Shelley? I don't know. I think I'd like to do Alcatraz, but you see, because I'm very proud of my country and I'm proud of being English. I think I'd love to do like Bucky Palace or something that's very quintessentially English. I'd love to try that. But then again, Tam and Ed, hello from Nebraska. I suppose Bucky Palace would be at the top, but then again, you can't. There's so many great places all around the world, and and the States has got some fantastic places. All the old ghost towns and all the bars and all of that, and you just love to spend time in all of them. Tower of London, I'd love to do the Tower of London, and we tried to do it, but unfortunately we couldn't. Speak Hall. We went to Speak Hall because Paul O'Grady mentioned it to us, and it was a great place. It's actually a great place. It's without. It's beautiful to be. It's very calming in there. It's it's very well looked after. But I mean, it's definitely haunted. It's definitely haunted. Scary things in Downing Street. Do you know what? Houses of Parliament, Downing Street, and all of that. That would be great. Royal Pavilion in Brighton would be great. I'd love to go back to the Queen Mary, but I understand. I don't know if things have moved on, but I understand that hasn't it gone into liquidation or something? I'm not quite sure. Do you think Chernobyl is haunted? Again, I'd love to do Chernobyl. Galleries of Justice, love it there. Great place. Hampton Court. Well, we did get an okay to do Hampton Court, but the only places they would allow us to go were the sort of newly refurbished flats at the back. They were just little white square rooms. We weren't allowed to do any of the other main pieces, and the people there said that they'd have to have a team of people with us at all times. And the trouble is with that is you can't be doing a seance or with another 5 people in the room. Because if there's a noise, you can't guarantee it's not them. So we had to turn that down, unfortunately. Oxford Castle, brilliant. We've been to Oxford Castle. We've done Oxford Castle. We'd be interested in our pub. Pop in when you come down Brunny Garth. Oh, right. Well, always interested in popping to a pub. Scariest hunt I went on was Epping Forest. Do you know what? When we did our live from Epping Forest, we got lost. And I remember Yvette making a Freudian slip calling it effing Forest live on telly, which was great. Speak always gives me goosebumps. Yeah, it's a great place. It's fantastic. But like I say, it is very haunted and can be scary at night, obviously. How about an old Navy warship? Well, because my family are sort of, we have a maritime history in our family. And ships always get, I love doing ships, absolutely love it. So I'd love to do a Navy warship, really would. Gracelands, do you know what? It's one of those things, if I was asked to do Gracelands, I'd be conflicted. Because I won't go there purely because I just don't, I think it's Elvis's home and I don't have a right to be there. But if I was asked to investigate it and have free running around the place, I'd be such a hypocrite and go, yeah, of course, yeah. But then again, what do I do if I talk to Elvis? I wouldn't know what to say. HMS Belfast, great. Dorchester Prison. Do you know what, Lee? I can't wait. We're going down to Dorchester Prison this year, and I can't wait. Can't wait to get down there because I'm so excited about Dorchester Prison. Because the great thing is there's lots of prisons out there. There only used to be a couple, but now there's so many, and I think people are realising the benefits of keeping them open for the public and ghost hunts and all this kind of stuff. Again, yeah, we've managed to give the publicity to, and I think the great thing about that is you're not stuck with doing one or two. They're open to. There's so many all around the country, and it's great. People don't have to travel very far to go to one. Titanic would be amazing. Do you know what we wanted to do when we were at Living? We wanted to try and do a seance over Titanic with the subs, just go over the top of it, get as close as we possibly could, and do a seance. And the rather ridiculous people at Living TV said, no one would want to see that and nothing would happen. And which, bearing in mind, they said exactly the same thing about the live we did at... what was the asylum we did in Wales? Someone's going to come up with it in a second. What was the asylum we did in Wales? It slipped my mind. The old derelict one. Come on, someone's got to come up with it. Blackpool Town? No, I want that. I believe that there's a. I believe that there's certainly something in this the stone tape theory. I really do, and I think we've caught it in the past. Denbigh, that was it. Denbigh Asylum. Can you believe it? That the commissioner at the time said no, it might be okay for one night, but not enough for 5 nights or however long we were there. And I really had to dig in and fight deep to get there, just thinking how, only a fool would think Denbigh couldn't last for the whole of that time. And it did. And, we had one of our best viewing figures we've ever had, and also one of the best weeks of Alive that we ever had. This is from Haunted Scouse, and I agree with you so much. Far too many places in the UK want to charge hundreds, even thousands to investigate. It's a shame, really. It's all about money with some. Do you know what? You're absolutely correct, and I that's not me barking, by the way. That's Olive. She's got a little bone, and Watson's started to look at it. I don't mean a bone like that, because she's a girl. Anyway, yeah, that's one of the problems. We've usually if we've gone there to a place that we generally asked, and we can't force them. That's the problem. Not to up their fees to go in, and a lot of them do. They stick with that arrangement, but some of them don't. As soon as it's on the television, their fees go up, and it shuts it down for everyone else. And I think that's such a sad thing for people to do. So and that it's sort of greed is a terrible thing. I'd love to do Standon Hall once again, because I think Standon was was one of the greatest places, scariest places I've ever been to. I don't think I've rarely been that scared walking down a corridor, just thinking something's watching you and waiting for something to happen, which is bizarre. Gladstone Pottery. I'd like to go back there because I don't think. Again, you know, we were running around following psychics at those times, so it'd be nice to go back and do it without that, and I don't know, do it properly. Wherever we go. Yeah, generally, it's sad with Saltmarsh. Saltmarsh is, like you say, it's now a fancy hotel now. And we loved doing Saltmarsh when we did it. We really did. And we were very fortunate to be, and for them to allow us, you know, to go into that cupboard and take a bit off and go into this sort of deserted bit at the back. It was just remarkable. And I will always remember that and always thank them for it. I mean, sadly, they got a little bit greedy at one point, but I think that was because they were going mainly for they just wanted to use it for weddings and stuff, so I don't think they really bothered that much about the paranormal stuff. Newsham Park Hospital, again, you see, Newsham Park, people ask me about this, and it's, I know it's supposed to be up there, but again, there wasn't one. The reason we've not been there is there wasn't one credible ghost sighting prior to it being opened as a ghost venue. And we did research for an awful long time. And when we do our research, we go back to newspapers, we go back to people who work there, we go back to, you know, we do an awful lot of research. We've got a team of researchers that do a very, very good job. And there was some that were made up that we found them doing it, but it just isn't. And people go there and think they've seen something. We know at some point there were some people staying there illegally. There was rooms people couldn't go in. But at one point, I mean, when I went there to have a look at it, I was told that the kitchen was a mortuary. Now, I used to, back in my early days, I used to work for an architect's company, and I know my way around a building, and you know, and I said, no, this is a kitchen, not a mortuary. He said, no, this is because of the amount of people that died here. And I said, no, it's not. It's a kitchen. And he said, well, no, because that's the cold stores next door. And I said, no, that's the fridge for the meat, for the kitchen, for the food. And then we went into the incinerator room, and this guy was trying to tell me that I was standing on the ashes of the corpses of loads of children. It's just ridiculous. And I think, you know, unfortunately, when that starts to happen, you start having to make it. I believe too much in what we do to do any of that. If something's not haunted, I mean, I'm not saying it isn't. It's just that there wasn't one credible sighting prior to it, and now there seems to be a lot when people turn up and pay money for it. And I don't know what's wishful thinking or whatever. Who knows? But that's, for me, that's why I won't go there. It just didn't pass what our bare minimum. Simon Wilcox, been to Newsham Park, nothing there. Yeah, and I think that's a really honest thing to say, because a lot of people, they pay their money and they want to think that something's happened, so people don't think they wasted the money. And that's a very honest thing to say, Simon, so well done. Connecticut in the USA also appears to be a spooky place. Yeah, Connecticut is, well, there's so many great places in the States. I mean, so many great places all around the world. Down the Vinci Mansfield. Which one's that one? Great to have you back. Oh, thanks, Chris. It's good to be back. Yeah, Jacob. Oh, we got someone doesn't like us. We've got somebody hit the down button. Oh no, my life has ended. Oh no. Yeah, it really bothers me. Troopy YMCA next to the Royal Hop Hole is haunted. Is it? Oh, God, we've got some Skinwalkers Ranch. Yeah, I'd love to go to Skinwalkers Ranch, because again, that's not just paranormal. That's, well, not just ghosts. That's UFOs and just about everything. Yeah, so is Illinois. But the thing is, just about every state, every single state will have well, there's just somebody saying about Leopard Inn, which is fantastic, a great place. I don't know. I just think for me, there's just about every single state in the States has got some great place. And for such a young country, that's great, because you think, you know, in the next 500 years' time, there's going to be so many more. And I'll probably be investigating them. Years ago, you went to Egypt to do some scouting. Yeah, we did. Well, do you know, Nathan, that's a very interesting story. Because we went to Egypt and we talked to Dr. Hawass, I think his name is. But we first went and had a look at the pyramids, and I had one of the greatest experiences. I don't think many people can have had the same experience. And we went to the Great Pyramid at Giza, and I went in the pyramid to have a look, and it was lunch, and then everyone else was leaving. And so I went up there, and Arch, who was one of our producers who was with me, he was talking to somebody downstairs, and they walked off. And because it was lunch, they closed the door. So I was stuck, locked in the Great Pyramid at Giza on my own, in the pitch black. I didn't have a torch or anything, fumbling my way around. And I managed to get to the top and just lie down on the slab that's there. And it was the most amazing thing. And just you think, how many people have been able to do that? I mean, probably there's quite a few over the years, but it's not something you get to do that often. So, you know, so that was great for me. I really do that. But we got there, and we had our meeting with Dr. Hawass, and he declined us purely because another ghost show had been there. We'd always wanted to do Egypt, but there was a commissioner at Living who just didn't like us, and they did everything they could to destroy us and the brand, so they took some other people to Egypt to try and make another show, and it was so bad that I think the viewing figures were so appallingly bad that I'm not sure if they even showed the whole series. I know the exec producers asked for their names to be taken off the end of the show, which was kind of karma, really. I can't remember who the production company was that did it, but anyway, because of the way that the medium they used, this was not coming from me, this has come from Dr. Hawass, said, we will never allow any ghost hunting companies to come here and do this with a medium. We weren't using a medium at that particular time, or we said we wouldn't. But unfortunately, that was to no effect, and said no, because of one medium they said who kept falling over, as he said was, what's the word he used? He said that they were disrespecting his ancestors. And that was that. That's why we didn't do anything there, which was sad. I mean, it's great because we had a nice holiday in Egypt with some lovely people. But yeah, that's why we didn't do it, because Dr. Hawass, because somebody else had been there before, and that was that. So, watched investigation in Area 51. Had a good audio evidence. Wow, that would be interesting to see. I bet filming season in Australia would work. Do you know what? We've always wanted to have to do some stuff in Australia. And again, it was one of those points with, again, going back to the days with Living. We were going to come over to Australia to do a series. But one of the people at Living TV, again, they were trying to, without going into too much detail, were trying to push somebody else to go over to Australia and completely fucked it up. So we didn't go, unfortunately, and that was such a shame, because we'd love to do Australia, because, you know, but I've been to Australia a couple of times, and it's fantastic, and they've got such a great history. I mean, certainly a great paranormal history. Duke of Lancaster, moored off north of Wales, has a huge history. Now, the Duke of Lancaster, is that the one that's been used for lots of different things? It's been sprayed and all over, because if that is, I think that is the one. And we've tried to get on there so many times, but you just, yeah, the fun ship. We've tried to get on there so many times, but the dealing with the people there it's actually like getting blood from a stone. It was, and it's a shame because it'd be lovely to get in. Mary's creeping around the kitchen trying to not make a noise, getting some stuff to eat.
Just getting a drink. Sorry.
More alcohol, love.
No.
What do I think of haunted museums? Do you know what? I think if they do a job and people want to go to, I think it's a great thing. I'm a great believer in showing stuff that's that's there. I personally don't believe that items are haunted. We have many that we've collected over the years that are supposed to be haunted. But I just don't believe an item is haunted. However, I think that those, and we want to show ours, because it's not down to me to say whether they are or not. It's down to other people if they believe, and other people believe they are haunted. Then I think that's great. I know you mentioned the doll. See, I just believe that was the situation it was in, not the doll itself. There's something weird about the doll. I mean, looking at the way little Watson added to it, but is it haunted? Is it cursed? I don't know. But yeah, we're going to be showing some of our stuff in the new location that we've got, which will be interesting to see. Yeah.
Can I have a handful of nuts that are in the living room?
Yeah, of course you can.
Thank you.
My daughter wants a handful of nuts.
That sounds so wrong.
The Haunted Museum not very rude about most haunted. Well, that's because the people who ran it were desperately wanted to be on Most Haunted, and I told them no. So, but yeah, the one thing always to remember is when you've got a paranormal group or whatever slagging off another one, they're trying to cover up their own inadequacies, and it's pure and simple as that. That's why we won't ever slag anyone off, because we don't really have any peers, and at the end of the day, it's not something that's the right thing to do. But you know what? If it keeps them happy, by all means, carry on. Honest opinions on Borley Rectory in Suffolk. Yeah, well, the rectory's not there anymore, and I don't know. I don't know. I didn't one of the guy who did it, didn't he say? Didn't he say something that he made it up? I could be wrong, but I think I'm not sure. Karen Patton, Carl, it's 2 years ago since my mum died. I'll never forget you and Yvette's kind words of condolences at Accrington event not long after. Do you know what? I remember, Karen, and I hope you're okay, my love. It'll have been a hard 2 years. Chris Hussey, I played an Elvis song on my keyboard just now. If I could play keyboard, so would I have done. Oh, hang on, I've just moved that down. What's going on here? Oh, there we are. Loftus Hall in Ireland. Yeah, is Loftus Hall up for sale? I keep hearing it was, or it was. Have you still got your birdhouse? Yeah, still got the birdhouse. Still got the dovecot. Still got the duck house. And now I'm doing an outhouse. No, I'm doing a summer house. Badly. Doing one badly. Croxteth Hall was great. We've already spoken about. Oh, Haunted Scouse is off. No, Haunted Scouse. Thanks for popping along. Thoughts about Madame Tussauds? Well, we did an event at Madame. We did a show at Madame Tussauds, and it was hilarious because we have a when we open. If you look at the opening bit where Yvette does a piece to camera, we've got sort of Stuart, myself, and some of the other teams sort of standing with the other. With the other dummies, and so we, and when it came to for the channel to see it living, they hated it and said you can't use it because we were having some fun, and they didn't have any fun there, sadly. So we, and I just said, well, we haven't got any other stuff, so we had to use it. didn't. I had filmed some other stuff, but I just because the person who was at that point, it was commissioner, editor in charge, was an absolute horrible human being, and there's lots of stories I could tell you about that. But anyway, so when you see the opening, there was huge arguments about the opening of that because they didn't like us doing it. This is Jeremy. Harry Price allegedly faked some of the phenomena at Borley Rectory to aid his book. I didn't know it was him. I thought it was the other guy that said he did. So Harry Price, right? He wrote about his time there. Still fascinating. You're right. It's still fascinating. But Jeremy, it's probably one of those things. I hope you'll agree with me. That it's. I think sometimes when something is so haunted, like you've got your the Enfield Poltergeist. You got those two girls who something was definitely there, but you know they obviously did play up to the cameras a bit because when people go there, they didn't want nothing to happen. And I'm wondering whether with Mr. Price, whether the same thing happened. You know, he was so desperate for nothing not to happen that he made stuff or recounted stuff happening that maybe wasn't there. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, Falkland Palace is haunted as well. Well, that's great. What did he do? Morecambe Winter Gardens again. Do you know what? They were very. We would have done, but again, they were very. We had loads of stuff booked, and then they just cancelled it all because they wanted to open up their. They wanted to open up their pub, and they didn't get it. It was us and other paranormal groups. They just cancelled on a whim, and of course the pub thing didn't work. I think they had 2 people turn up. So the next week they're, oh, can we have you back? And it was like, no, you can't do that to people. So we've never been back, and because of that, unless their management changes, we won't. Because we've supported them greatly over the years. We've put them on the television many times. We've helped their plight. We've helped them get money in. And for them to do that to not just us, but all the other groups that bring them in, I think it was wrong of them to do it. So we wouldn't go back purely from that. Right, this is from James Rendell. There is a fictionalised account of Harry Price's Borley, in Borley called Ghost Hunters, which is interesting read. Yeah, that might be worth a little bit of a read. Please answer. This is. Please answer. I'm so curious to know. Have you ever had a spirit from any investigation that sticks out in your memory? Wow, that's a good question. Spirit itself sticks out in my memory. Do you know? I don't think there is. I don't think there's one specific that sticks out. I really don't. Yeah, Jake, I don't know whether that was... Yeah, I don't know what Jake was all about. Was that one thing or was that just another thing? My dogs are making a lot of noises. That's not me. I haven't got a leak. Now, what's my favourite sandwich filler? Daniel, nice work. Well, I love cheese. Cheese and onion is my favourite thing ever. I mean, I'm a slut for cheese and onion pasties. I am. Every time I go down to Cornwall, I have to have a cheese and onion pasty, but not just one. And then, because I'm a vegetarian, I think there's I love the vegan sausage rolls as well. And now that I found just up the road, they sell them. Yeah, I eat a lot of them on the weekends. Crisp sandwiches, haven't had a crisp sandwich for a long time. Do I think airports are haunted? Yeah, it must be haunted. I mean, why not? You know, just woke up, it's 6:30 a.m. here in Australia. Hello, Anna. Wake up, get some coffee. How is Stu? Stu's fine, Bob. He's I only spoke to him earlier, actually, funnily enough. I spoke to him yesterday as well. He's busy working. But yeah, he's doing very well. Very well, my friend. I read somewhere, this is from Jeremy, I read somewhere that part of the Borley Rectory still stood as part of the newer house. I didn't know that. Not sure if it's true, though. as according to maps, the original. I know. There's houses near there, and I know they're not too happy about people going and doing investigations, but you know, I guess there's some more people running around. I loved Wes Raymond's squeaky noises, singing to nurses. Yeah, Dickie Day. That was Dickie Day. Well done. Are we trying to work out what the name was then? Fabulous. Do you know what? Those squeaky noises we had. Again, yeah, this is this does not come down on Living TV a lot. I'm not meaning to. I'm just stuff that happened. When we got those, we sent those to the tapes to the audio to 2 universities to look at independently, and they both came back with the origin of the sound, in their opinion, was neither animal, mineral, or vegetable, which I thought was remarkable. And we wanted to put that into another show because I thought it needed further analysis and to find out why. And yet the channel didn't want it and said that that's not what the viewers want to see. Shows really they didn't have much of an idea of what viewers really wanted to see. Sorry to jump back to the location questions, but one just jumped to mind because I've just seen watching BBC DVD set Colditz. Colditz, wouldn't that be? Wow. Investigation of Guy Fawkes, trial of Guy Fawkes, yeah. John, yeah, it's all good, thanks, my friend. I've not seen the BBC broadcast of Borley Church, but I'll look that out. I mean, we've got such great places, and there's just so many to go. Let's have a look. Laura, I'll do anything for you. Can you please say hello to my hubby, Mark Sims? He thinks you're great. Do you know? Hi, Mark. How are you? I think you're great too. And obviously your lovely Laura's as well. But yeah, I hope you're having a good time. And do you know what? Everyone, I hope, because we are getting to the other side of this Corona thing, and hopefully, and I think it's we need to be, just good luck with everything, with all of it. Let's try and just get out of this safely. Kevin, when are you doing a new series of the Most Haunted? Me and Dawn miss it so much. Carl and also Hall. We're great place to go. Yeah, also Hall's fantastic. Really is great. But we're doing some other series. Bobby Mackey's. I was trying to think of Bobby Mackey's earlier, Kimmy. I would love to go to Bobby Mackey's. Just fantastic. Would you go back to Wentworth House? Do you know what? The trouble again, Wentworth House. That was another one we publicised and got a great deal of PR for. But when we did our events there, they started to hold weddings on the same night and firework displays on the same night that they booked it out for an investigation. And they wouldn't not do that. So again, we couldn't put our guests in that situation where you're trying to do a paranormal investigation, you've got fireworks going on outside. So we had to pull away from it, which is a shame because it's a great place. And it's weird because when it was owned by the previous people, we had no problems with them whatsoever. But of course, it's taken over by a group of people, by trust, and that never goes well. Because you've got a table with a lot of trustees with egos greater than the universe itself. And that's the sad thing because it does ruin the possibilities for locations, and takes away a lot of money because they used to get paid of a lot of stuff. Natasha, do you believe in Fred's chance and stuff? Well, again, Natasha, it's one of those things. Belief is a personal thing. I don't believe in demons. That's my thing. There are lots of people who do, and I wouldn't try and change that belief. I don't believe in demons. I believe in nasty spirits, but that's just me. So to answer your question, no, and I don't believe that just saying words can conjure up. But I never have, and I've been quite vocal about this in the past that I never have believed that words alone can conjure up anything. I think it's the intonation of the words that can conjure stuff up. it's the same as somebody saying "I love you." If there's no meaning behind the words, the words themselves mean nothing. And you can say "I love you" with a look, with a, just with a touch. And I think it's the same with this. You don't necessarily need, I don't think, chance, but that's just my opinion. Obviously there are people who would have lots and lots of different belief systems, from complete belief one end and non-belief in the other, and everything else mashed in the middle. And I respect every single one of their views. This is from James Rendell. Do you remember the fireworks when we did Chatham Dockyards in November? I do remember that, mate. That was kind of fun. Yvette's chance, yeah. Yvette does a chance with. See, that's the Arte Marcouth. That's supposed to be. I could get this wrong because but I think it's similar to like a Lord's Prayer kind of thing. And it's not so much the words. It's that tone, and that goes back to Buddhist teaching about tones and stuff. It's supposed to bring out paranormal activity or help paranormal activity. I says, and Yvette's chants scare me. Yeah, she scares the crap out of me when she's shouting at me too, which happens a lot. I don't do anything wrong, but I do get shouted at a lot.
Lies.
All right. Never trust your daughter. Enfield Football Stadium. Yeah, there's a lot of things died there, aren't there? A lot of dreams. I'm just joking. I know nothing about football because I don't follow it. I don't know about football. Just don't. Yvette is lovely. Yeah, she is lovely. Oh, her new car. Yes. Yeah. Do you know what? The greatest thing about her new car is just seeing her getting in it and smiling, because she has this broad smile when she drives off in it. It's just fantastic. Just worth every penny just to watch her smile. It really does. When she tells you and Stu off about the knives, yeah, she does tell me off. Oh crap, she can hear me. Oh, maybe she can't. Shauna, you can't be saying stuff like that. Well, you can. Ancient Ram Inn, great place. Ancient Ram Inn. Yeah, music helped too. That's right. I worked in the cabinet. It's definitely haunted. Wow, Scott. That's interesting. I wonder what the history is of the cabin. Would you answer funeral parlour again? Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think the funeral parlour is great. Yeah, I really do think it's a great place. And very worthy of lots and lots of investigation. Hello from Virginia. Hello, Shauna. How are you? Hello from the UK, or from Great Britain, as I prefer to call it. Or should I say England, because that's where we are. I'm always getting attacked. Do you know, I always get attacked, Shauna. It's unfair. It's just unfair. Are you doing anything for Most Haunted? Yes, we got lots of stuff. I know it's been a bit quiet on there. I know Yvette's been doing a lot of stuff on there, but we are doing some stuff. We've got, hopefully in the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks, some other stuff will be going on it. So yeah. What dream place would you like to visit? Yeah, I think we sort of said that earlier. I mean, I'd kind of like to do the I'd kind of like to do Bucky Palace or Tower of London, I guess. Tower of London would be great. Just fantastic. Have you got a cold? It's cold. No, it's a little bit of hay fever. I didn't take hay fever tablets today, and I've been outside arsing around like you do. Anyone with a haunted car? My haunted car has now been sold. Oh, yes. Some people wanted it, and they really wanted to do some work on it, and it did need someone to do some work on it. To be fair, I mean, I've had it for a long time, and I love the car, but I couldn't really give it the benefit of time. And somebody came and just said they wanted to do it up, so I let them have it, which is, Would I ever go back? This is from Kelly. Would I ever go back to America? Yeah, sure, absolutely. I would. So there's so many great places in in the States to investigate. It would be one of those things that you could spend a whole career out there and still never even get around to half of them. Did you enjoy Plesley Vale Mills all those years ago? I love that place. Yeah, I haven't been back there for so long. Haven't, Bob? Have you ever blew off and blamed noise on a ghost? No, I haven't. I know. Probably some people on the events might have done. But yeah, can you briefly explain how Spirit Box works? Well, it depends, Sean. It depends on what kind of Spirit Box you're using. I think the trouble is, a lot of them, the Spirit Boxes, if they chuck into radio waves, you're just scanning a radio wave. So you're hearing DJs and all this kind of stuff, and you can you pick up on DJs' words and stuff. So again, it's very open to interpretation. There are other Spirit Boxes that do downloads, but they've got a lot of those have got already pre-configured words in. So if you would say, "Can you tell me your name?" because you've used the word name, that goes into the system, and it will chuck out one of its maybe 1,000 names it's got already pre-programmed in. And they say, "How old are you?" Then it will come out with a thing. So you think you're getting readings, but they're not. They're just pre-programmed into the machine. And I know a lot of them were the downloaded ones were found out 18 months ago, I guess. And it was a shame because they're just duping people, and that's wrong. But if Spirit Boxes work for people, I think go for it. It's not my favourite thing, but that's fine. Jacqueline's having a sausage roll. Is that a euphemism, Jacqueline? How's Reg Corker? Would love to see him on here. Well, Reg is going to do a live reading at some point. I don't quite know how we're going to do it. Because obviously he's very busy. But I think he's going to do a live reading, probably on YouTube. Maybe we'll try and get him on the Most Haunted YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook page. I don't know. We'll see what we can do. Luke, no, I haven't. I don't even know what it is. Did you ever get any show on the other day? Did you get snow on the other day? Yeah, we did. We actually, bizarrely or not, we did get lots of snow, and it was weirdly because it was beautiful sunshine the day before, and then we ended up just cacking it down with snow. I think you guys are fantastic. From Darren, thank you. You do a fantastic job. Thank you, Darren. How's Yvette? She's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. There's not a day I don't wake up next to her and count my blessings. I do. What was your favourite haunted house you've done? Do you know what? It's bizarre. I think going back to, Mitchell and Priory's got to be up there purely because it was our first one and we didn't know what we were doing then. And some will think we still don't know what we're doing. Mitchell Priory is always is probably one of my favourites. For Fear, Standard Hall still gets me, and I know it's not a house, but Gloucester Prison. It's just any other major changes down the line? No, we don't think so. There will always be shows where not all the team are on board. That's purely because everyone's busy, everyone's got lives, and we can't sort of not shoot a show just because one person can't turn up. Because it's difficult, obviously, to get everyone together at one time. So, there'll always be shows where they're not everyone in, but we've not got any real huge changes. Because it's a point, it's not fixed, so we don't really want to break it. This is from Terry, do you still retreat to your shed for inspiration? Yeah, I do. I absolutely love my little shed in the middle of the wood. It's peaceful, it's warm. Well, when I've got the wood burner on, it is. I love it, and it's surrounded by so much wildlife. It's so peaceful and lovely. I mean, you can hear the road sometimes, but I love it. It's nice when I have a cigar. I do like to have a cigar there. I'm a sucker for a nice cigar. But why are you wanting to move if you love it, Carl? No, we're not going to move. We are just buying somewhere else, so we've got somewhere else to go down to, because we spend a lot of time down in Cornwall, because it's a magical place, and we just wanted to get a place so we could retreat and enjoy, weekends and stuff down there when we can. Now, this is comfort. How sexy is Glenn? Scale to 1 to 10. I could turn for him. Now, Leon T, why do you hate me? I don't know you, Leon, so I don't. Would you do another live in your shed? Yeah, do you know what? Why not? I might do one this weekend, actually, if I get the time. Yeah, I might do that, because that was good fun. Vanessa's in Cornwall. Would you ever do the tunnels on New Brighton in Wallasey? Now, do you know what? I go to New Brighton a few times. I have meetings there once a year, and I didn't even know there were tunnels underneath there. So I'm going to have a look at that. Are you going to do a Most Haunted Live this year? I shouldn't say it, but yeah, we are. I can't say where. But we are going to do Halloween. We're going to try and see if we can get something out before there as well. But that's all going to be dependent on all the stuff. I love Tintagel. Tintagel's fantastic. Do you ever do Whitby? I love Whitby. It's fantastic. Glenn is 300% sexy. Right. Right, let me just do this, because I think we've got someone who's got a bit of issues. Oh, there we go. Done. Do you ever do... would you ever do an episode around Asians Wall? What a great question. What a great place to do. No, I never even thought of it. That would be brilliant. Yeah, look, we are doing more. Thank you, Susan. And we all adore you. Right, well, I'm going to have to go out to bed because it's coming up for 10 o'clock. I know that's slightly wrong. And Mrs. Beattie will be up there waiting for me in her Winceyette. So anyway, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for all you guys who've watched it. It's been fantastic. Anyway, see you next week, I'm guessing, or maybe this weekend if we do if we get to do a live, if I get to do a live down in my shed. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Love to you all, and God bless. And I need to find out where I'm going now. But bye bye.